this is Soundout here, back to another DC Universe Classics review. Today we have the Crime Syndicate of America 5-pack, Wal-Mart exclusive. This is the last 5-pack that's going to be coming out for DC Universe Classics as far as we know it, as the retail line is ending at Wave 20. And it has the 5 main members of the Crime Syndicate, the Evil Justice League from Earth 3, which were predominantly featured in Justice League Crisis on 2 Earths. So, I'm really excited to get this open, so let's not take too much time on the packaging. You can see you got 5 figures. You got Ultraman, Superwoman, Power Ring, Johnny Quick, and Owlman, with their names down here. Wal-Mart exclusive sticker. There's the standard, like, DC Universe characters on the back. Here we got bios for everyone. I want to read all these during the review, but the bio for the Crime Syndicate is the Crime Syndicate of America, spelled with a K, is comprised of 5 villainous analogs of Justice League heroes who live in a world where corruption and mayhem rule. It's similarly done to the packaging for the Green Lantern Light 5-pack that they put out. As you can see, you got like a comic panel, and they got the character. Even though this is classic, this is modern. Classic, modern. Classic, classic. Classic, classic. Classic, modern. And you got the little picture where all that's from, which is where the Crime Syndicate fought the Justice League. Justice League. Yeah, that's Justice League. Anyways, whoa. Just wrecking everything right there. Let's get on to this long review. So we're going to take a look at Johnny Quick first. I'm going in backwards order in terms of rank. Johnny Quick, of course, is the evil opposite of the Flash. Unlike the Flash, who gained his powers by absorbing supercharged fluids, Johnny Quick uses speed juice and an enhancement helmet to give him super speed. Without regular doses, he loses his powers completely. However, the world's leaders supply him with plenty, making sure that Johnny Quick remains a super fast evil maniac. The figure itself, there's one thing I gotta talk about right quick. There was a big change from the prototype, which you can see on the back of the packaging, to the actual figure. See how the actual figure has open hands? Well, on the prototype, which is on the box here, this is terrible of me, but see how he's got fists? I would have preferred the fists, because really, there is nothing for him to hold. He never held anything, really, so why did they give him those open hands? Like, for example, the Flash doesn't have open hands, he's got closed fists. So I'm kind of confused. Anyways, take a look at the evil one here first. Johnny Quick, of course, is just like the Flash. So he's got similar design elements. He's got lightning bolts. He's got a giant lightning bolt that's pointing to his crotch. Anyways, yeah, classic designs are funny. There is some slight mold flash here and there on these figures. There is some terrible quality control. I seem to get the best set that was in the store. And it also seems that he doesn't use a solid yellow plastic on his hand. It's slightly translucent, which is a little weird as well. But overall, it looks really nice. He's even got traction on the bottom of his feet. It's textured. And they've been really good about hiding up the peg, cape plug, as I call it. You can barely see it there. Now you can see it. But quality control overall, aside from mold flash, which is expected, he's got a bobblehead. You can see that. Just slightly tap his head and, yeah, it just shakes. Articulation-wise, it is basic DC Universe, so you got ball joint head, shoulder movement, elbows, bicep swivel, wrist swivel, ab crunch, which the way they painted it, you can have it go back and it won't kind of see how the design doesn't get quite messed up. Waist, outward leg movement, forward and back leg movement, thigh swivel, knees, and ankles. So very cool, and it is the only DC Universe Johnny Quick we're ever going to get. I think only one of very, very little. There's not very many Johnny Quick figures out there, but he is capable of going into a running pose, which I'm terrible at, but you get the idea. He can just be like running, and he can be trying to say race. He could try to race his enemy, the Flash, so they can be like running. But yeah, very cool. I love the design of the Crime Syndicate versions of the Justice League members, because they're very similar to how the Justice League ones look. See how I got Flash here? He's got lightning bolts all over the place. This guy's got a giant lightning bolt. He has yellow, yellow boots. They're the same. I think actually, yeah, it's the same foot mold, except this is yellow paint and this is yellow plastic. But the feet are molded the same. Yeah, it's the same mold for the feet. But something else is that this guy seems a little bit bulkier than Flash. So take that as you will. But yeah, overall, Johnny Quick is really cool for being probably the weakest figure in the set. He's still really cool. Next up, we have Power Ring, the evil opposite of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. A Tibetan monk named Volthum offered him a mystical ring and power battery capable of great power, but the ring came with a curse. Despite the warning, he accepted it and was possessed by the spirit of Volthum. A coward, Power Ring uses the ring's incredible power to cause chaos and destruction. Power Ring, of course, is really cool. Just like Johnny Quick, this guy is neat. What I gotta say though, his face is basically like angry Hal Jordan, which it might even be a slight modification of the White Lantern Hal Jordan figure. I'm not quite sure because I don't have that, but I do believe it's a whole new head sculpt. But you can see the heads are very similar. But paint-wise, he's kind of sparse, but in the way of that, he's got this really cool like X symbol on his chest. And get it, as opposed to being a Green Lantern, he's a Power Ring. He's got lines, some green lines, which is nice detail. They weren't on the prototype. Yeah, the prototype has a little different. There is like no additional green paint on the prototype. Prototype 1 has white boots. And I can show you this. See, the prototype 1 right there has white boots. This guy's got green boots. He also doesn't have the stripes on his arms. So apparently they decided to do it. What I can see it as is a slight mixture of the modern and classic designs. But what is cool is the fact that his ring, which is really tiny, do that. His ring is actually not just a simple Green Lantern ring. It's remolded to have Power Ring symbol on it. It's very hard to see, but if you have the figure in hand, you'll be able to see it for sure. But the hands are different. But he still can hold, say, if you want. I don't remember if this is right or not. I don't think they have the same lanterns, but if you wanted, say, you have an extra Green Lantern hanging around, you could have him hold it, just for funsies. But yeah, he looks really cool. He's got the same articulation as Johnny Quick, so I'm not going to bother to go over it. Nothing limited or anything, but he's neat. He's very cool to say the least, and you can certainly go up against Hal Jordan here, in which you can see that there's a lot more green on this guy here. Now there was one thing that in Crisis on Two Earths that I really liked about Power Ring was the fact that he had like a gauntlet that would have his powers, and that kind of worked a little bit better, I think, than making him so similar. Because these guys, like, if you were just like a casual fan and didn't know this guy was evil, you could throw him in the Green Lantern Corps and think he's just like a division of the Green Lantern Corps or whatever. But yeah, they look very similar, which is interesting. But yeah, overall Power Ring is really neat. I said Johnny Quick might be the weakest. I'm thinking this guy's the weakest, but he's still pretty neat. I'll have to I'll check the accuracy of this guy maybe later, but if I find anything different, then I'll add an annotation. But Power Ring's kind of cool. I gotta admit, probably low tier on the list. Probably like my least favorite, but he is still cool. That's what's great about this set. And here we have Superwoman, the only female in this team. Superwoman is the evil opposite of Wonder Woman, but takes the name of Lois Lane in her human disguise. Her powers are similar to Wonder Woman's, but she also has heat vision, and her lasso not only forces others to tell the truth, they readily confess embarrassing secrets. Also, Superwoman is a ruthless seductress bent on getting her way. Married to Ultraman, she is having an illicit affair with Owlman. Fun times. I actually don't have a Wonder Woman. I don't know why I still don't have Wonder Woman, but I don't. So this part of the review is going to be slightly lacking, aside from my jokes about Superwoman, because there are a ton of QC issues on this figure. I checked it over in the box. This is the better one. First of all, she's got lots of mold flash on her chin there that I do not know how to get rid of. So I'm going to pose her looking that way. Second, there's some paint scratched off this glossy part, and it looks like some glue melted from this part that's been glued down onto her boob, and I haven't been able to get it off. I don't know why, but this one looks slightly better than the other one that was at the store. So to say, you know what, I'll just get this. Now, my first complaint is she has nothing to hold, so why does she have the female holding fist that, because of that glossy paint, have been kind of glued shut, so there's no point. Yeah, they don't even open because they've been painted shut. While on the prototype, God, I'm crazy, aren't I? On the prototype, she had fists, so I don't know why they changed that on her and Johnny Quick. But other than that, you know, she's identical to the prototype. But yeah, so they're kind of like, I guess they wanted to give her more stylistic hands. She does look very nice, though. She is a seductress, so she looks nice, aside from that weird thing that's sticking out of her back. Anyways, no, it's her modern look, not her classic one. I kind of wish they would have gone all modern on all 5 of them, or all classic on all 5 of them, but they decided to mix it up, so yeah, there's the Superwoman. She looks nice, I'll give her that. Articulation-wise, her neck is a little limited because of her hair, which is why I can't get in there and get rid of that mold flash. She's got outward shoulder movement, 360 shoulders. She's got an elbow. She's got a bicep swivel. She's got a wrist swivel, a waist swivel, an ab crunch, which is not restricted by, which is going back, is not restricted by the cape. She's also got outward leg movement, forward leg movement, back leg movement, knees, hips, and ankles. So you can pose her into to some poses like that. That's the pose I leave her in. What would have been cool is to include her lasso, because I know she, you know, it's in her bio. Like, seriously, why didn't they? I mean, if it had just been like Wonder Woman's and just clipped onto the side, I wouldn't have mind. It's not in the prototype either, so I guess the 4 Horsemen decided not to go with that. Anyways, yeah, Superwoman's pretty cool, but when you're going to buy this in the store, definitely look at all the details of her before you buy, because I got the best one, and it still has like 4 or 5 QC issues. Here we have the coolest figure in the set, Owlman. Owlman, the evil opposite of Batman, was actually born Thomas Wayne Jr., the older brother to Bruce Wayne. When his mother and brother were killed, for which he blames his father, Owlman left home and entered a life of crime, not even loyal to his own syndicate. He is having an affair with Superwoman and blackmailing Ultraman. Using technology and fighting skills, Owlman is a dark criminal focused on creating mayhem and ending the world, if you go by some versions. Anyways, yeah. There's a reason why this guy is in the center of the back of the box, because, oh my god, he just looks good. I mean, they just did. 4 Horsemen sculpted this figure perfectly. He looks just like the prototype. There was some extra layering on his shoulder parts, and these were a little overlapped on his cape, but he still looks fantastic. He's up there to the awesomeness of like Gentleman Ghost and the Joker and stuff. Like, he's got this, like, the belt is perfectly done, which it does continue to the back, so you can see there behind his cape. The feathering design on his cape, like in Owl's feathers, which is the whole design element. I almost feel like cutting this, but it's kind of would wreck the figure. But you can see it has like all these additional things. He's got the gloves and boots that have this cool design on it. His helmet looks fantastic. We can see his helmet. It's just cool. And the little owl logo on the clasp for the cape. Now, if you took the cape away, like, basically, this figure looks as good as it does, I think mainly because of the cape and his other details. He's the most unique of the set. He's got new head, new cape, new belt, new lower arms, new lower legs. Because that's not just a slipped-on piece, that is a brand new part. In addition to that, he does come with one accessory, and that would be, if I move him out of the way, an owl ring. He comes with an owl ring. This is the coolest thing. He's the only one that really needed an accessory, and they gave it to us in the form of the owl ring. That is just cool. I mean, it's just cool. It was in his hand. I didn't even know till like after I opened it up that he actually had it. And I was like, that is just fantastic. And you can see he can hold it. He can hold it in multiple different ways. You can have him hold it like this, or just about to throw it. But yeah, it's really cool that they gave him an owl ring, considering this is probably the only Owlman we're ever going to get for DC Universe. But articulation-wise, like, everything's still there, but the cape does restrict his arms heavily. They can only go about that far out, that far forward. Can't go back very far. His arms are a little restricted, but other than that, it just looks fantastic. This is the best figure of the set. And he's very different from Batman, which I completely forgotten to bring in Batman here, because Batman's not as great as Owlman. It's sad to say, but I mean, you can see with Batman here, they have similar design elements, though Owlman is just the superior figure overall, as you can see here. So yeah, there's really no comparing the two. This Owlman is just fantastic, and is possibly the entire reason to get the set. Finally, we have the leader of the crime syndicate, Ultraman. This is actually not the Japanese superhero. I'm sorry I made that little mistake earlier, but he is the leader. He is an evil Superman, and this is actually the second figure we got. We actually did get a Ultraman in the Battle for Earth 3 2-pack that was exclusive to MattyCollector.com a couple years ago that came with Alexander Luthor. Ultraman, leader of the crime syndicate and evil opposite of Superman, has similar powers to the Man of Steel. However, he is not a son of Krypton. Born human, Clark Kent was a deep space astronaut who imploded into hyperspace. An alien gave him superhuman body with a twisted mind and sent him back home. Ultraman is a megalomaniac and uses extraordinary powers for evil. And that's really his bio. He's really cool looking. Now the other Ultraman that came out, it's all different. This is a different version. It's a modern one. He's the only one this is like the second figure of Ultraman. But you know, so as you can see there, he's got kind of an Elvis look to his face. I don't know, he's just kind of snarling at you. Mold Flash there. He's got the upside down Superman logo with a U in it. He's got this new belt design. He's actually got things on the back of his elbow guards. There's veins on his hands. So he's not sharing a hand mold with anybody, I don't believe. It's very light blue too. Kind of bland in the legs. Speaking of legs, this is the biggest QC issue I've ever seen happen with DC Universe. Yeah, when I pulled this guy out of the package, I pulled him by the leg, and that's what happened. The whole leg assembly just his crotch exploded. So yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this happening with the crotch just exploding. It stays together fine, but what I think happened was that I don't know however this set was shipped to my Wal-Mart. It might have tipped over, and the glue might have leaked out of his crotch and onto Superwoman's boob. I know how terrible that sounds, but seriously, you can just go in here and pull his crotch piece off. It's just not glued, so I'm going to have to throw some super glue in there. I just want to point that out. So be careful when opening your toys, because you might just pull them apart. Articulation-wise, everything's the same as normal. Yeah, it's the same articulation that you would come to expect from DC Universe. His head does look up. And he does look good with Superman here. But yeah. So as you can see, he's a lighter blue than this guy, so that's kind of interesting. Their faces are much different, and their symbols are opposite directions, and the legs are just kind of bland. But yeah. Ultraman is very cool. Don't worry too much about the crotch problem. It probably was just mine. But yeah. So overall, can I recommend the Crime Syndicate of America 5-pack? That's kind of a tough thing. Here's the deal. This set retails for $74.88. $75, almost $80 for 5 figures. Before you're like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. Think about it. You're getting 5 $15 figures. That's $75. And then you'll be like, wait, weren't the previous 2 5-packs $60 a piece? And I would say yes. But those had 2 reuse figures and 3 figures that were slightly modified figures. With only, or it was 2 reuse figures, 2 repaints, / remolds, and 1 brand new figure. You have 5 brand new figures here, plus there's been some price increases since the last 5-pack. Yes, I can recommend this set. $74 may seem a little steep, but you are paying $15 a figure. So if you're a casual DC fan, this is going to be hard to buy because it is $74. And if you really don't know who these characters are, then that's $75 you just wasted. The Owlman is probably the coolest. If you're going to get 1 figure from this set, which you can because of, there's ways, Owlman's pretty cool. Owlman, Ultraman, and Superwoman are probably the best figures from the set. Power Ring's probably the weakest, and Johnny Quick's number 4. But these are all fantastic figures. There is no reason, if you're a DC fan and know the Crime Syndicate, and you love this line, there is no reason not to buy this. Anyways, yeah, if you're a big DC fan, then this is a great pack. You get all 5 members of the Crime Syndicate. And if you have the Ultraman and Alex Luthor 2-pack, the Battle for Earth 3 pack, then that's even better, because then you can have an Earth 3 display, and then just chill out on their own. But overall, I gotta say, if you're gonna get this, try to get it in stores, because you really gotta look for quality control. Even though you are paying a lot of money for these, they still have quality control issues. For example, Ultraman's crotch and Superwoman's boob. Be careful, take a look at the figures before you buy, and don't just pick the one with the nicest box, because it won't always have the nicest quality control. That's what happened with mine. But anyways, they're starting to show up in stores now. They should be more available in the future, and overall I can recommend it. But I wouldn't hesitate to get a good-looking set when you see it and you have the money for it. Get it, because this is the best 5-pack they're putting out. And it's the last one as far as we know. So anyways, check your Walmart store. You should be able to find this soon. And be sure to check out WritersRangersRambles.com for geek news in the craziest way possible. And thanks for saying goodbye.